In each of our examples, the instructions are find the equation of each line. Find the equation of each line. Example 1 contains -5, 3, and has slope 4. Contains -5, 3, and has slope 4. So we're to find the equation of the line that contains -5, 3, a point, and has slope 4. Now let's use our formula, and so I'll write the formula down. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. As we use the numbers, we need to know which number to fill in where. The slope 4 is the m. So I'm going to label this with an M just below the number. The -5, 3 is our point number 1, so -5 is the x1 and 3 is the y1. That means that I'll write in place of the x1, y1, and in place of the m, I'll write numbers. So here's the format ready to receive the numbers. Y minus, and then a set of parentheses for the y1, equals a set of parentheses for m, times x minus a set of parentheses for the x1, and then close out the parentheses on the right-hand side. So we have y minus, the y1 value is 3. The m is 4. The x1 value is -5. This gives us on the left y subtract 3, on the right 4 times x subtract -5. Subtract -5 means add +5, and so I have 4 times x plus 5. And that gives me y minus 3 equals 4x plus 20. Remember, the subtract -5 really means add +5. So I have 4 times x, which is 4x, and 4 times 5, which is 20. Y minus 3 is equal to 4x plus 20. We're almost through. The only thing left is to get the y by itself on the left-hand side so that we have our standard y equals mx plus b format. That means I must add 3 to both sides to eliminate the 3 being subtracted. So we'll add 3 to both sides of the equation. We get y subtract 3, add 3 equals 4x add 20, add 3. The 3's cancel on the left, of course, and on the right we have 4x plus 23, and that's the answer to our problem. So y equals 4x plus 23 is the equation of the line. Notice that the key to working this problem is know the formula and then know where to put the numbers in the formula. From there, it's routine algebra that we have studied for several weeks. Let's look at example 2. We are to find the equation of the line that contains 2, -1, and has slope -2/3. The line contains 2, -1, and has slope -2/3. Once again, we write the formula down. Y subtract y1 equals m times x subtract x1. Be sure you don't skip this step. Be sure to write the formula down each time, because every time you write it, you are burning it into your memory and making the memorization easier. Now we leave parentheses to fill in the blanks. Our blanks are for y1, m, and x1. Now, which is which? We're given the point 2, -1. That's the x and y, so we have the 2 is x1. I'll write this up above this time. And the -1 is y1. The m is the slope, and so the m is -2/3. So in place of y1, I write -1. In place of m, I write negative 2/3. In place of x1, I write 2. And then we simplify. Y subtract negative 1 means y add 1. Negative 2/3 times x subtract 2 means negative 2/3 times x, which is negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3 times 2 is negative 4/3. Subtracting negative means adding positive. And so we have y plus 1 equals negative 2/3 x plus 4/3. Then to get y by itself, we must subtract 1 from both sides. And so we write y plus 1 subtract 1 equals negative 2/3 x plus 4/3 subtract 1. Now, in order to combine the numbers on the right-hand side, I must get a common denominator for these two numbers. Notice we're not talking about the negative 2/3 x, but rather the like terms, the terms that have no letter parts. 4/3 subtract 1. The 1 really means, of course, 1 over 1. Common denominator for these is 3. And so I have, well, let's see, the 1 plus 1 on the left will cancel, so I have simply y on the left. And then on the right we have negative 2/3 x plus 4/3 subtract 3/3. 1 over 1 is the same as 3 over 3. Common denominator is 3, and we have 4/3 subtract 3/3. Well, 4/3 subtract 3/3 is 1/3, and so the final answer is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1/3. Now you're ready for some exercises. In these exercises, you are to find the equation of each line, just as we did in the examples. Find the equation of each line. Exercise 1 contains negative 4, 3, and has slope negative 1/2. Contains negative 4, 3, and has slope negative 1/2. For exercise 2, contains 6, 1, and has slope 3/4. Contains 6, 1, and has slope 3/4. Be sure you have these exercises copied down correctly. Let me read this fraction at the bottom again. I'm not sure you can read it clearly. It is 3/4. After you have them copied correctly, stop the tape and work the exercises, then restart the tape to check your answers. Your answers should be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. And for number 2, y equals 3/4 x subtract 7/2. If you missed either of these problems and cannot find your error, be sure to mark them on your notes so you'll know to ask about these when you go to the lab.